Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zah back at you. But anyways, man, you can already tell by the title, a lot of people are going to get offended by the simple fact that I'm just one of those that feel like I need to speak the truth. See, for a long time, minorities been pretty much put in a certain particular box, so they've been led like sheep to believe a lot of things that have been put in the media because, I mean, to be honest, everybody looks at the left as if they're some type of saviors. But if you really want to get into nitty gritty, a lot of you already know exactly what their party stood for and the fact that they shifted it in order to get us to vote for them. Like, I understand, like I said, there's a few people that's going to get offended by this particular video. And I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to open your eyes. I'm not really trying to get you to vote any particular way. I just want you to sit back just for a second and really use your mind and formulate an actual thought and stop assuming or voting with certain individuals because you feel that that's going to be the right thing. I know right now a lot of people are up in arms about the simple fact of, they got our kids in cages, and not mine in particular, but when it comes down to it, kids are kids. I have kids, so I understand exactly everybody's sentiment on that. Now, what I don't respect is the simple fact that people continuously take on the same regurgitated rhetoric that everybody else uses. Like, if you're a minority, then you must vote for the Democrats. You must vote for the left, because if you don't vote for the left, it's a direct contradiction to what you should represent as a person. But I'm here to put you up on game. You have been led so many. Understand this, politics is a dirty game. It's always been a dirty game, but when you're dealing with these political parties, you can pretty much get a general idea of exactly what they stand with, what their morals. On one side, you got progressive. We'll just say progressive because everything they do has to be politically correct, which is not. Because if it was politically correct, then that law that just passed that give all these pedophiles these little loopholes to move in and out. Before, if you got any type of sexual charges for life, plain and simple fact. So you always had that tag on you. Now, due to the fact that there's a Democrat that's in office, and I'm not talking about the president because he's not a Democrat. I mean, he used to, but he saw the error of his ways. And don't get me wrong, this is not to disrespect everybody from the left or any progressive, libertarian, whatever, even though libertarians seem to swing more towards the conservative. This is just to open people's eyes on the fact that, look, in every state where all these uproars and all this chaos and all these buildings being burned down, businesses is not buildings, but as far as like businesses and people that work hard to retain what they got. You got these individuals come in, and don't get me wrong, if you're a communist, that's on you. You choose to think the way you think, and can't nobody change that. Just like people can't change the fact that I represent what I represent. But at some point, people got to really stop being led astray or led a certain way because they feel like if they don't, then they're looked at in a certain way. And to be honest, people then got smashed on, stabbed. Some people have died because they're a minority and they shifted to the right, which is crazy because your political alliance has nothing to do with your race. But people now try to make it about race, and it should never have been about that. Now, if it was about race and we were really, getting into the meats and potatoes of it, then you would never vote Democrat for the simple fact that what their political party stood for back in the days and continue to stand for. I can guarantee you, if people really start doing their research on exactly what these politicians did, look at the law that passed. I can make a whole video just on that, but that law that passed gave these pedophiles so many loopholes. But you got to think about it. When Epstein was alive, people like to say, okay, well, Trump was Epstein's friend. But why is now that this dude's in office, all these pedophiles are starting to get snatched up? Tell me why other presidents that people have hailed as the first black president, yet when you really do the research, they've never did nothing for you. People talk mess right now about the kids in cages, and that's true. But who the freak started it? The Democrats, the one that opened the shit up in the first place. It was a Democrat that started putting them in the cages. Now, when somebody steps into the office, they inherit everything. Now, understand, the same views that people fail to realize, the Democrats want you to stay in cages. They want you to get deported. Compare this. And this is just, like I said, this is the part that offend people because unable to think for themselves. if you compare the rate of people being put in these particular places compared to now, the numbers would never match up. You would realize that, and this is no shot at Obama, because I actually liked certain things that he did, but there was a lot of things that he did wrong, and that was one of them. He created these cages for them to be stuffed in. Plain and simple fact, man. Do your research. Now, the thing that frustrates me is because so many people are on the internet arguing over this particular issue, but don't know nothing about their political party and won't not research it because they don't want to get the real truth of the fact that what you've been voting for years has never did nothing for you. Understand, like I said, every state right now that's under Democrat rule is trash. A lot of stuff are happening. Look at California. Excuse me, allergies. Just look at California and all that's taking place right here. People want to hail these cats as like the next messiah. Like, look at Kamala Harris. Just like I said, I did a video on it, man. Go do your research on exactly what type of individual she is. Now, you want to say sleepy, man? Biden's been in office over 2 decades. What has the motherfucker did once for any of you? He was so pro-law and putting people in behind bars for the rest of life for the minor infractions. So you think all of a sudden that he's changed? Why isn't none of their narratives right now is getting those kids released from cages? Because they don't want it. They don't want it. Why? Because they're more focused on the black vote. The black vote, regardless of what you want to say, the black vote matters to them. They need that minority vote. They're not worried about the Hispanic vote. They're not worried about a lot of different. They need that black vote to solidify it. And that's why anytime, any type of situation, you know what I mean, is comes up, that's the first thing they put light on. And you notice all the cats that they're putting the light on got some type of weird sexual charge on them. Why is that? Is that a coincidence? People wanted me to talk about that dude that got killed. Oh, man, I forgot the state, but that little kid that did the shooting, yeah, it's all a setup, man. It's all a setup. His mom is an idiot for having him out there, you know, straight up. She messed up. Now he might be behind bars for the rest of his life, and I can't downplay the fact that he killed somebody. He took somebody's life. But understand this, is you keep voting for the people that are instruments to this, the ones that push for this particular thing to happen. You can say what you want, man. It's all you got to do, man. People wanted to know why there's and I don't even, and for a fact, let me just put that out there. I don't think that the question that I'm going to tell you was asked about the flag in the background. Why don't I still sport Mexican flags? I do that nearly every day. But see, that's my son's flag for his class. And the one thing that I teach my son is to be proud of the country he's from. I'm not one of these race baiters that try to divide and be like, oh, you shouldn't be a patriot for this country because so many things are happening. There's so many things that's happening. There's so many good things that are happening. It's just people are more focused on the narrative of destruction, which these people are causing because they want that. They want to sow chaos. When they sow chaos, it makes it look bad that the president can't squash it, but he could. But in that term would make him look bad as well, because it's like, oh, now you're using force on your own people. Understand, man, like I said, Trump is Trump. He's the president of the United States. It just is what it is. People are like, oh, he was an actor. Reagan was an actor. You know what I mean? All these particular little things that have been put into place to better our lives from the Democrat have always been the first thing to sink us, because people are in debt. People got to pay that money back. So many different things go into politics, but people, you know, will continue to do, you know, what they feel is the politically correct thing to do. Me, I'm never going to do that. And the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that when you go all through social media, people that you may see as unsightly, the people that really supposedly don't matter, but we got our votes back, so yeah, we matter. But the people that you would figure that are like criminals, or people that just are like I said, unsightly, or maybe those that never really took part in politics. But you understand, when you're in jail, a lot of times you learn these things. You're constantly learning things because you want to be able mentally to maneuver. Some people are preparing themselves to get released back onto the streets. Now, what I mean by the reason I say that I'm proud is because a lot of individuals that never even thought about this, never cared about this, are now starting to step up and see that, you know, regardless of your political affiliation, you know what I mean, as far as like whether you're a Democrat, Libertarian, staunch conservative, and you like got a socialist, whatever, like it don't matter what you are. At the end of the day, these people are sitting and having real conversation. It's not to slander. I'm not gonna tell you you're stupid because you choose to vote Democrat, because there's a lot of people that are Democrats that are good, but that has nothing to do with your politicians. The thoughts that you have and that progressive manner that you know try to put forth, the politicians in power ain't feeling that. They'll let you think that so you can get them back in office, and when they get there, they'll do like Biden's been doing. Absolutely, he didn't do nothing when he was with Obama. He didn't do nothing before he got with Obama, and it's just the way it is. Like, stop painting these people as our saviors, because they're not going to save you. Because if they were going to save you, all these people that's tearing up businesses right now, do you know that reflects on you? So when they tear up your neighborhood, gentrification comes into place. They give people money to rebuild, but they also move people back into neighborhoods that you've called home for the majority of your life, if not all your life. And then all of a sudden things have got hyped up. Now you got to move out because you're no longer good for the community. But this is what happens when you allow people to come into the community and tear it up. That's why you got people in Los Angeles that was like, hell nah, get up out of here. BLM, I'm tired of people saying that if you're black, you got to represent BLM. Understand the underlying basis behind, I say, what BLM's whole thing. If it's something controversial as far as like somebody black gets shot, and they feel like they can, you know, that they can ride the wave on that, then they step up to that cause. And not all of them, but the organization as a whole is pretty much like that. They pick and choose what they want to confront. Some people are just looking to tear shit up. They pay some of these people are paid just to go out there and hold a sign. And like I said, man, for the people that think they're on the right side of, you know, I give it to you, man. It's good to get out there and protest. It's good to feel a part of something, but you also got to look at the bigger picture. And like I'm saying, let me just digress for a second. Just because you're Republican don't mean you're a good person. I'm just saying the political thoughts and what they really think compared to a lot of Democrats, as far as like politician, is a lot different. In the end, you can't really trust no politician. But it's always the lesser of two evils. Now you got to figure out what you want to choose. Think about your life, what you represent, what you may want to become in the future, and where you feel like your life is going to. If you're about your country, you're about taking care of your family, you're about you know, being the right to bear arms and all this other stuff, then you might want to lean more to the right. Now, if you want to be more, you know, gays should have their rights and people should not be discriminated against, which is funny because the same people that push that are the ones that discriminate against people. That's prime example. Biden. You ain't black if you don't vote for him. Who says that? But he's stupid, and that's plain and simple fact. So all I'm gonna say like this, man. Stop lumping every black into in a group that they have to represent BLM. We're all on two different pages. Plain and simple fact. They don't celebrate black people and they don't represent black people. They represent an organization that's politically based, for Marxist and other things. You know what I mean? So, but I'm not gonna go into that agenda. But basically, like this, man. It's no need to be fighting with each other over politics. But if you really want to get into it, learn your political party and learn what they really stand for. Pedophiles. Plain and simple fact. It's proven in the point. Clintons, all in the pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you didn't find Trump on none of those plain, you know, he wasn't no politician, but you found all the Clintons and all that. I mean, just do your homework, man. And that's all I'm gonna really say on that, man. But like I said, for the people that's out there protesting to get the kids out the cage, I did it. Excuse me, no shot at you. But sometimes you gotta wake up and understand that not every Latino is voting against Trump. And it's a lot of them. So don't think that it's just, and by you slandering and talking mess, you're not doing nothing to them. They don't care. They're gonna vote whichever way. Now you gotta sit down and think about what you wanna vote, which most are gonna vote against Trump because, you know, the kids are still in the cage. But also get at your politicians and ask, what is Biden gonna do for them kids when he get into office? They're pushing more of a black narrative, not Hispanic, black narrative. Why? I told you, your vote really don't matter to them. You know what I'm saying? Just plain and simple. Until you get into position, till you can actually move shit, you don't matter to them. And that's plain and simple fact. Because if you did, they be how they got them protests going on right now for this sex offender that got shot and paralyzed, and the other fool that got killed that was had sex offense on his thing. They would be, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I'll get off that, you know what I mean? But yeah, the flag's in the background because that's something I represent, and that's my son's flag, you know what I mean? And he needs to be proud of his country and celebrate it, regardless of what's going on. On that note, I'm your boy Zod. You enjoy the rest of your day. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Ladies.